who's champ, and then maybe Canelo Madrimov. Maybe.
Israel Madrimov is eager to ruin Terence Crawford's plans of fighting Canelo Alvarez next by defeating him and taking his spot at the top. Crawford's future plans are set as he eyes to be undisputed at the 154 division and face Canelo Alvarez for legacy and money. There were talks of Crawford fighting Jaron "Boots" Ennis, too. Boots himself looked prepared for this fight when he defeated David Avanesian on July 13th. During the Ennis-Avanesian post-fight interview, Boots expressed his eagerness for a showdown against Terence Crawford, highlighting his desire for the big fights.
What's your preference?
Most definitely, let's make it happen, you know. That's what I want. You know, I want the big names. You know, Terence Crawford, anybody else in that weight that got a big name, let's get it. Let's make it happen.
Boots promoter Eddie Hearn also expressed confidence in the potential fight, though he clarified that it would likely happen in 2025. Hearn indicated that Ennis's next fight in the fall will not be against Crawford.
I think one of the best fights in boxing, one of the purest fights in boxing, is Crawford against Boots, right? But we want to take care of business at 147. Like, I feel like we need to unify. We need those tough tests. And having done a huge gate here on Saturday, I know that we can fill the whole place up against the likes of Barrios, against the likes of Stanionis. And that's what we've got to do before we move to 154. But you know, if Crawford is successful, for me, that's a dream fight, not just as Boots' promoter.
Hearn also described a conversation with Alal Sheikh about the potential fight between Ennis and Crawford. He detailed his conversation with Alal Sheikh, saying, "I said to His Excellency, maybe if you want, we will go co-main event on Dmitry Bivol Artur Beterbiev in October out there, Saudi Arabia, or we could come back here, Philadelphia." Following Ennis's impressive victory, Alal Sheikh took to social media to share his thoughts. "I just reached out to boxer Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn to congratulate him on his win, and I'd love to see Ennis in a fight with Crawford at 154 soon." But Crawford was quick to dismiss this particular contest, and instead explained why a clash with undisputed super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez is more appealing. Recently on the MMA Hour, hosted by Ariel Helwani, Crawford said that he is more interested in a fight against Canelo because this fight would add to his legacy and bank account. Crawford stated, "Where I'm at right now, I'm looking at the fight that makes the most sense, and that's not Boots. Canelo's gonna bring way more to my legacy and way more to my bank account, because at the end of the day, when boxing is done, what will we have? I would have a legacy that's something people talk about for ages, and I would have a bank account that would last for ages as well." Also, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, Turki Al Sheikh, previously revealed that he is looking at making the super fight in either December or January over in the United States. He stated, "I'm working to deliver Canelo, but it will be a big fight for Crawford. I'll discuss the names with him." Meanwhile, Israel Madrimov intends to spoil Terence Crawford's plans for a fight against Canelo Alvarez in early 2025. Madrimov lays it all out with his mental strength, confidence, and the support he gets from his entire country. Ideally, His Excellency should tell the fans that the Crawford versus the winner of the Madrimov fight winner will be the one fighting Canelo, because that would bring more drama and excitement to the event. He stated, "Obviously we have some things that we've been watching. We're not going to talk about it right now. But also, with a lot of fighters, I believe that they're losing before even stepping into the ring. They're already kind of on the downside. With me, I'm mentally strong." Madrimov is gearing up for victory with a mindset of pure determination. He also stated, "I know what I'm capable of. I know how important this fight is for me, for my family, for the legacy, for the whole country. I have a whole country behind me, supporting me, so I'm definitely coming out there, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get the victory. My only thoughts are positive thoughts. I know what I'm capable of." Furthermore, Israel Madrimov reflects on the aspirations of every fighter to face the best in the sport. He acknowledges the widespread discussions about potential matchups involving top fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. He stated, "Obviously everyone's dream is to fight the best names, the best fighters, to get the best opportunities. I'm thinking about the task ahead of me, which is Terence Crawford. I see all the talks and everything that people are saying, Canelo, Crawford, talking about those fights. Maybe it's time already to talk about Madrimov versus Canelo. After the fight, of course, I'm going to look for the biggest fights, and the opportunity to fight Canelo is a special one. I would love that one right after Crawford." Madrimov emphasizes that while his immediate focus is on Crawford, he is also eyeing a future showdown with Canelo. This statement underscores his ambition to compete at the highest level, and his confidence in pursuing the biggest opportunities in boxing. Many boxing fans aren't familiar with Madrimov, never having seen him before. They've seen the 36-year-old Crawford many times during his long 16-year career because his fights have been shown on ESPN. Israel Madrimov's trainer, Joel Diaz, believes that Terence Crawford will feel his power when he connects with his shots on August 3rd when they meet in a Riyadh season event. Diaz stated, "Now in front of him, he has a younger fighter, strong fighter, and very disciplined. Crawford has become reckless, wanting and needing the Canelo Alvarez fight for that payday. So, he doesn't have time to ease his way into the 154 pounds division like a fighter normally would after being out of the ring for a year and reaching retirement age like Crawford. His Excellency Turki Alalshik wanted Crawford to fight Madrimov, and he wasn't about to say no, given that he's the one who can make the Canelo fight happen in 2025. So Crawford is taking chances that a fighter his age and inactive during the last 4 years wouldn't take, because he has no choice. If he wants the Canelo bag, he must fight Madrimov." Diaz further added, "When he's in the ring, he's very complicated. You can watch a video of Israel and give yourself an opinion, but it's totally different when you're in the ring with him. When you're in the ring with him, it's very complicated. Madrimov is hard to predict because of the angles at which he throws his shots and how he attacks. Crawford has never fought anyone with his style before, even though he's faced Eastern European fighters. They weren't talented like Madrimov and didn't have his power." Diaz emphasized Madrimov. "When he's in the ring, he's in great control. I've seen him in the ring spar against Dmitry Bivol when he was getting ready for Canelo. I was amazed. This kid is 154 pounds, and he's sparring a 175-pounder, and he's doing great. I don't know if Bivol was going easy on him or not, but that sparring looked great." Retired former light heavyweight champion Antonio Tarver says Terence "Bud" Crawford has chosen a tough fight for his junior middleweight debut. Tarver says that if Crawford wins this fight, it could open a huge gate for a potential fight against Canelo Alvarez. He stated, "You got to take your hat off for Crawford for choosing one of the toughest guys in the division. I think Crawford wants to make a statement. When you look at this guy, he looks like he's just a few pounds away from a Canelo build. He's going to be a strong guy. His arms are long, the way he fights. There's no real rhythm there, but he just goes left-handed and right-handed, and he's got power in both hands." Tarver further added that Crawford would be able to counter Madrimov's power by his swift movement and speed in the ring. Tarver said one thing he has is power, but I believe Terence has so many things in his bag. I think he's going to fight off his talent. Don't go in there and bang with a banger. As long as he can deploy a good defensive strategy and make sure he doesn't take no necessary shots, I think he can control him. He's not that fast. He's not that quick. He's a little plodding almost. So Crawford should have the speed on him, and I think once he finds his rhythm and his timing, I think Crawford will be able to do what he wants to do. But Madrimov is confident that he'll ruin Crawford's and Alalshik's plans when he beats the 3-division champion on August 3rd. When asked what he thinks about Crawford wanting to face Canelo next, Madrimov said, "We are ready for the August 3 fight. I'll remain the champion and maybe we'll have Canelo Madrimov. Maybe, because you know many guys have started planning the Canelo-Crawford fight, but there's still the August 3 fight remaining." Hailing from Uzbekistan, Madrimov is known for his aggressive and relentless style. Having showcased remarkable stability standing toe-to-toe with his opponents, he is considered one of the most intimidating fighters currently in his division. Israel doesn't have a long professional boxing career, as he has only fought 10 professional fights, but his amateur resume is quite extensive with over 300 fights. Madrimov's promoter, Eddie Hearn, also believes Madrimov could pose a significant challenge and will ruin Turkey's upcoming plans for Crawford by beating him August 3rd. Hearn shared his thoughts in a recent interview saying that Madrimov is the best at the 154 division, and going up against him would not be a walk in the park for Crawford.
Israel Madrimov is being massively overlooked. I mean, I actually sent His Excellency a message yesterday and I said, I'm really sorry to ruin your plans for Terence Crawford, because all people are talking about is what happens next. Canelo Alvarez, Boots, Ennis. But Israel Madrimov, I think, is the toughest test so far of his career, up at 154 pounds. He's a huge light middleweight, super welterweight, punches very, very hard, has tremendous movement, good boxing IQ, outstanding amateur pedigree as well. This is a real...
Eddie also says that he has a bad feeling for Terence Crawford going up against Israel Madrimov. He says that Crawford is eyeing for other fights, which might derail his focus from the main opponent he has on August 3rd. Eddie thinks that if Madrimov catches Crawford on the chin, it will be lights out for Crawford.
I've got bad feelings for Terence Crawford against Israel Madrimov.
Really?
Because, like, whenever you're talking, all I hear is Crawford Canelo. Crawford Boots, Crawford this. Like, he is fighting the biggest puncher he's ever faced on August 3rd, right? You know, people have been sending me stuff about where he got buzzed by Mean Machine and, you know, all this kind of, like, I'm telling you now, if Crawford gets hit on the chin by Israel Madrimov, he is going to really know about it. So We'll see what happens, but I've got a real sneaky feeling for my guy on August 3rd. I really have. I think it's a really tough fight.
Madrimov's trainer, Joel Diaz, feels that it's a mistake for people to be planning on Crawford to face Canelo Alvarez next, because Madrimov isn't an average fighter that he's facing 12 days from now on August 3rd. Many casual boxing fans aren't familiar with Madrimov, never having seen him before. They've seen the 36-year-old Crawford many times during his long 16-year career because his fights have been shown on ESPN. He's the known commodity, so people go with who they're familiar with and view Madrimov, the unknown, as the prop for Crawford to knock over. Joel Diaz says Terence Crawford will feel Madrimov's power when he connects with his shots on August 3rd. Joel stated, "I know there's a lot of plans for Terence Crawford to fight Canelo. You can't count on that. Let this fight happen. They're Crawford not stepping in the ring with an average fighter. This guy Madrimov is a world champion. With his experience, anything can happen. After this fight on August 3rd, they're going to know who Israel Madrimov is." Joel said Madrimov is hard to predict because of the angles at which he throws his shots and how he attacks. Crawford has never fought anyone with his style before, even though he's faced Eastern European fighters. They weren't talented like Madrimov and didn't have his power. Joel said, "When he's in the ring, he's in great control. I've seen him in the ring spar Dmitry Bivol when he was getting ready for Canelo. I was amazed. This kid is a 154 lbs, and he's sparring a 175-pounder, and he's doing great." Jamie Moore believes that people are sleeping on Madrimov. Moore said that Crawford is an exceptional fighter, but if he underestimated Madrimov, he'll get in deep trouble.
And, you know, for me, it's a 50-50. I don't think people are talking about him fighting Canelo next, and you know, as if it's a foregone conclusion. There's no way I'd be overlooking Madrimov.
How big of a statement win would it be if, say, Terence goes out there, completely dominates or stops a Madrimov?
Huge statement in my book. And then, even though I still think Canelo's way too big and too talented for him, it actually puts a question mark over, has he got a chance here, if that's the case. So it really will be a statement performance if it...
However, it seems like Crawford is not underestimating his August 3rd opponent, and although it's difficult to look past it at a potential fight with Canelo, Crawford knows that Madrimov is a big challenge for him. He stated, "Just everything about him. He's a decorated amateur. He got a lot of experience in the amateur field. He may only have 11 fights, but he's 11 fights and a world champion for a reason. So I have to respect everything about him, just like I got to respect everything about any other opponent that I've been in the ring with, because everybody brings something different to the game." Coming to what the other boxing pros have to say about this fight, Sean Porter advised Israel to stick to his roots and not try anything new. Porter believes that Israel is a great pressure fighter, but it only takes one mistake for Crawford to get in and finish the fight.
So this is what Madrimov does well. He's a great pressure fighter. He brings the mental and the physical pressure. Do what you do and do it as great as you can do it. Don't try to divert from that and do anything else. That's what Crawford does, man. He gets you off your game, causes you to do some other things.
Porter was also asked for his views on how the fight with Madrimov might go while standing right next to Crawford himself. He talked with Crawford and told him, "I watched some Madrimov. I think that Terence, it always takes you a couple of rounds to see what these guys bring to you. I expect to see Madrimov in your face. I expect the stick to come out from Crawford. I expect him to start the fight orthodox. I think this is going to be a fun fight. You're going to have your hands full, but I think you will handle it. You always handle it. Some people are born to do what they do, and this kid is born to do what he do." Chris Algieri is also expecting Israel Madrimov to provide Terence Crawford a hard night's work when they clash on the fight night. He stated, "I think Israel Madrimov has the right idea. The Joel Diaz aspect is really important. If he brings his best version of himself, he's very much a threat to even the great Terence Crawford." However, Chris believes that even though Madrimov is talented and has crazy power, he lacks experience when compared to Bud Crawford. He also says that Crawford's relationship with Turki Al-Sheikh will be very lucrative for him. Though talented, Madrimov doesn't have Crawford's profile or experience, so many, myself included, will expect Crawford to win. Turki Al-Sheikh's ability to broker these types of fights will also have delivered to Crawford the money his status deserves. Roy Jones Jr. believes that Crawford's move to 154 is best for him. He picks Bud to win the fight and claims that he might become undisputed for a third time.
I heard they're gonna announce Crawford this Wednesday to fight Masvidal.
Who?
Masvidal, the WBA junior middleweight champion.
Right.
154 pounds. What do you think about that fight?
I think Bud wins the fight.
Saudi?
But I think it's a good fight for Bud. I love the fact that he's going to 54. He keeps going up the ladder. He's doing a great thing, you know? There it is!
Possible that he might get the WBO also involved. He might take it from Dora.
That'd be good if he does.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. predicts an early knockout win for Terence Crawford in his title challenge against Israel Madrimov on August 3rd. He stated, "Madrimov is athletic, Madrimov is a beast, but Crawford is just a different beast. I don't think Madrimov beats Crawford. Crawford is up there with Usyk, Inoue on the pound-for-pound list, so I don't see Madrimov. And don't get me wrong, Madrimov is great, but Crawford is just on another level." There seems to be bad blood between Virgil Ortiz and the unbeaten Madrimov about comments he made in a recent interview. According to Virgil, Madrimov said he was just playing with him during their sparring session. Virgil Jr. doesn't believe him. He insists that he dominated their session.
But I haven't seen the interview, but I saw clips of Madrimov saying something about you in sparring. So for our viewers that may be asking, like, hey, Marcos, ask him about this. You know, what's happening with all that?
So look, he did an interview with Snow Queen. Yeah. So I obviously I can't listen to it. I'm just reading the subtitles, and you know, he said that they asked him about me, and he was like, oh yeah, he's a good fighter, this and that, and it's like, what do you think of him? And he was like, well, he's a normal boxer, and we went to just play with him or whatever. So I mean, to me, that's how do I say?
Dissing you, like dissing what
selection is throwing shade. You know what I mean? But you know, I feel like I got the best.
His trainer, Robert Garcia, backs him up, saying he won the sparring as if there was such a thing as winning. Garcia also speculates future fights with both Madrimov and Crawford as potential opponents for Virgil. Robert stated, "That's a fight that can happen too. Virgil becomes the interim champion, and Crawford is the WBA champion. That's the next fight that could happen too. So, we go that direction too." It's quite evident that Crawford is eyeing for the legacy and cash by fighting Canelo, and even though Boots Ennis is the fight that most boxing fans would prefer, Crawford versus Canelo is the mega fight for ages to come. Coming to the potential fight between Crawford and Canelo, several members of the boxing fraternity believe it would be a step too far for Bud Crawford, as Canelo is 2 weight divisions higher than him. But recently, Bud was seen sparring with the former light heavyweight champion Andre Ward, showing that he can go against the big boys. After the session, Crawford posted photos with Ward on his Instagram. He posted, "Today, my bro Andre Ward gave me some rounds today. This right here is memories for a lifetime. Appreciate you, my brother." Crawford's teammate Shakur Stevenson also insists Bud is more than capable of carrying his devastating knockout power up through the weights after witnessing the sparring sessions against Andre Ward. He said, "Honestly, I think that Bud beats anybody who he gets in the ring with, even at a higher weight class. I think he's got all the tools and ability to beat anybody and everybody." Shakur also highlighted Crawford's power and said that he had seen Crawford hurting 200-pounders in the gym. Shakur added, "He's got punching power, boxing IQ, boxing skills, and footwork. There's nothing he can't do in the ring, so I think he'd be a hard task for anybody. Another thing, his punching power translates to another weight class. I've been in the gym and seen him hurt a heavyweight, a 200 $Bs plus dude." Showbiz, the adult, says that he would lose his mind if Crawford beats Canelo. Showbiz thinks that the weight difference and the fact that Canelo has one of the best chins in boxing today, it would be hard for Crawford to get the W.
I mean, Canelo got a beard. I don't give a damn who it is. If Triple G couldn't hurt him at Kovalev, then shit, Terence ain't gonna hurt him. It's just about swimming without getting wet and outboxing him. He ain't gonna hurt that guy. And plus, he's too good. I got Canelo beating Crawford, bro. I like what everybody's saying, but I got Canelo really hurt me. But I like the fight now more than I did before. But I don't see him beating Canelo, bro. It's just, you know. But hey, if he does, he's already one of the greatest fighters ever. But I would lose my shit if Crawford beats Canelo.
I think it's one of those moments where it's like, good try, Crawford. Listen, I would stand up and give Crawford a slow clap. I would.
So what are your thoughts about this fight? Do you think that Crawford is overlooking Madrimov? Can we see an upset on August 3rd? Do tell us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.